Happy Tuesday. So, I have my third tip for you guys to start training women better today with no expense, no time investment, and really doing nothing special. Um, these little tweaks are going to make a massive difference to your clients' lives. So, today's um, tip, I'm going to repeat the caveats a few times, but the tip is to lift heavy weights. And I mean like heavy weights. And maybe I could phrase that better actually. Today's tip is to work towards lifting heavy weights because you'll have some clients that could do it tomorrow, um, but you will have clients that will take years to build towards lifting heavy weights. And the reason for this is there's a process. We cannot just dump a woman's body weight onto her back and expect her to lift it because the main reason is women have a different pelvic anatomy. So, the process by which you introduce women to lifting heavy weights includes a consult with a women's health physio. So, once her pelvic floor is assessed, then you can proceed to introducing heavy weights slowly. Um, and then you'll probably continue working with that physio ongoing throughout the journey. And the second reason you want to build towards heavy weights, not just throw it at them, is because you need time to educate your client. Women perform better when they understand why. Okay, when they're encouraged and they're nurtured and they understand why. I know I'm speaking in a big generalization, but this is research. Um, then they're more likely to try it, they're more likely to give it a go, and it's more likely to work. Okay, so women need to lift heavy weights, they need to eat a lot of protein, and do all the things men have been doing for 150 years. But the fact is, a lot of women aren't, and part of that is because it's easier. It's easier for us to do endurance and stretching, so yoga, walking, running, because we're more engineered to do those activities comfortably generally. Um, but because we're smaller and are stronger in endurance, we don't get those opportunities and we don't have the hormonal profile to really lay down good bone and good muscle mass. And then when we get to menopause, our rates of osteoporosis are double the rates of men. So this is a deal for women, and the time to build their muscle mass is in their teens and early 20s. Okay, the rest of the time when you got your perimenopausal women lifting big heavy weights, that's just maintenance, good quality maintenance, very important maintenance, but they won't be building it the same way as they did in their 20s. Now, if you have objections from female clients, you will need time. Women do not have the hormonal profile to build muscle and get bulky like men do, despite their fear, despite being indoctrinated that smaller and less powerful and weak is better. We actually need the opposite, and we need to be educating our clients on this. So, if you want disease prevention, like boosted, thriving health outcomes, longevity in your clients, then heavy weights is the best bang for buck. Okay, for any female client of any age, if you start working towards weights so heavy they can only lift them 3 to 6 times, and then you repeat that 3 to 5 times, and then you repeat that twice a week is probably the best. You will have reduced their chances significantly, sometimes by up to 100%, of heart attack, osteoporosis, early death, diabetes, cancer, stroke. The list goes on. Weights are the gold at the end of the rainbow. But again, we don't do it tomorrow. There's a process, okay? Women's health physio, um, and build gradually educating on why. So if cardio is important to this client, even with all those other ducks in a row, then plyometric work and power training is still fabulous for muscle building and bone building in women. But once again, you need some understanding of the female pelvic anatomy. It is different to a man's anatomy. They carry different risks when it comes to heavy lifting and plyometric work and Olympic lifting and power training. All those things are vital for our health and longevity, but all those things may also contribute to pelvic injury if we are being trained by someone who does not have a good understanding of these issues. Okay, so in the comments, and I'll put it in my link in bio and Instagram, I've given you a 50% off code to any of our core dysfunction series, including from deep core dysfunction to heavy lifting. So you can learn a 6-step process to get your female clients in the best, most powerful shape possible safely. Okay? Now, after all this, okay, let's say you're waiting for her to see a women's health physio. In the meantime, don't avoid cardio. It's still good. Um, but it's just less of a priority. So maybe you'll choose 3 big rocks, one push, one pull, one compound leg exercise, and you'll do, 3 to 6 reps, and you'll do 3 to 5 sets, and you'll do that twice a week, and then you'll do in the remainder of your session, you might do cardio. Fair call. Okay, fair call, that's fine. Or you might offer her homework. You do your 2 weight sessions, she goes walking in her spare time. All these things are a balanced, well-rounded program, and all these things it's like eating a wide variety of fruit and veg. You need a wide variety of exercise modalities too. Okay, but when you're doing your weights, you want to be building, you want to have that end goal in mind, that you're gonna do heavy weights that she cannot physically lift more than 6 times. Okay, so just to reiterate, 2 caveats. Number 1, there is a process. We're building towards lifting heavy weights. So get educated on female pelvic anatomy and female pelvic dysfunction issues. Where 30% of your female clients in the general population will have an issue. That's 1 in 3. If your client is athletic, if they run, do CrossFit, gymnastics, trampolining, those numbers will be closer to 70%. So 2 in 3 will have a pelvic dysfunction. You have to understand it. So women's health physio, get her assessed, work with that physio, understand pelvic anatomy in women specifically, then building to heavy weights. And then another little thing to think of is get her off the weights machines. Unless they're specifically designed for women, they are designed with male proportions, so like bone lengths, muscle actions, and male angles. Now we have different elbow angles, shoulder angles, chest angles, hip angles, knee angles, foot angles. If you're going to lift heavy, get onto the free weights. And again, you can build up, okay? Building up. You have permission to start light. Okay, dumbbells, barbells, sandbags, TRX. Doesn't matter. Make it heavy. Free weights. Let the female body move like the female body moves. And building up with that final objective of big, heavy weights.